Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to see an important topic called as addressing modes. Okay, so please pay more attention to this topic. So this topic will be repeated in your next semester, next year paper microprocessor and microcontroller also. Okay, so this is very simple. The topic is very simple and also quite interesting. Okay. So before getting into today's topic, we will have a quick recap on previous topic. Okay, so in previous topic we have seen about instruction and instruction sequencing. So the computer will do the basic four operations, is it not? So one is data transfer between memory and what? Yeah, you are right, memory and processor. Then carrying arithmetic and logical operations, then input output transfer and program control, is it not? So the this four basic operation, the must perform operations in the computer. Then we have seen about register notation, then assembly notation, followed by instruction formats like 3 address instruction, 2 address, 1 address, and of course 0 address instructions also there. Then we have seen about branching, and finally about conditional codes. Okay, so now we will be moving on to today's topic, addressing modes. The logic behind the addressing mode is it will give the location of an operand. Okay, so when you execute an instruction and if the instruction takes an operand, then that operand might be in register or in memory, is it not? So we need to get that location. So there are different ways of getting the location of the operand. So that by means of addressing modes. Okay, so addressing mode is nothing but different ways of locating the operand values. Okay, so below are the types of addressing modes, which we are going to see it one by one. Okay. Then before going into that all categories of addressing modes, it's very important to know a term called as an effective address. So effective address is nothing but the location of an operand which is stored in the memory. Okay, so the operand, if the operand is stored in the memory, then that operand has a memory location, is it not? So effective address will hold that location. That's it about effective address. So why we need effective address? Because the instruction in the program will not give the address directly always. Okay, so the instruction will give some information. With that information we need to get that content of operand. So we need to get the operand value, so somehow. Okay, so by means of various addressing modes. Okay, so in the addressing modes which we are going to see, the instruction does not give the operand or its address directly. Okay, it provides some information. So from that information we need to get the address of the operand. So that that location, when we get the location of an operand, that we are saying as an effective address. So see here, for example, which we have seen in this instruction, move location comma R0. So I hope you will be knowing it. So LOC, location, is nothing but a memory address. In that memory address there is an operand. That operand has to be moved to the R0. So in this example, effective address is nothing but LOC. So LOC is nothing but in this location we will get the operand value, that is said to be effective address. So with this knowledge on effective address, we will move on to discussing the different addressing modes one by one. Okay, so please pay more attention. It is quite easy, simple, and also very important topic. Okay, in computer architecture and organization, and also microprocessor paper. Okay, first one is implied. So implied means the instruction will have only the opcode. Okay, the instruction won't have any operands. Okay, so here is an example, INCA, that is nothing but increment accumulator. Okay, so there is an inbuilt register. Okay, it's implicitly mentioned that the accumulator, there is, I think we have discussed earlier about the accumulator register. Okay, so it implicitly says we need to increment the accumulator value by 1. So that's said to be implicit addressing mode. Okay, so only opcode is there, its operand value will be incremented. Okay, and immediate mode. So immediate mode will be used in case of programming languages where we could implement constant, is it not? So assigning constant value. So if we assign a constant value in a high level language, so how the machine or hardware instruction set will understand how it will assign that constant value. Okay, so here comes to assign a constant value, so we have move phi comma r1. So phi is a constant that gets assigned to the register r1, or we could mention using the pound symbol also, hash phi. Okay, move hash phi comma r1 means that, so the value this is the operand value or the constant value, this is moved to r1. Okay. Next, about absolute addressing mode, or the another name is direct addressing mode. Okay, so direct addressing mode is nothing but the addressing mode where the operand location is given in the instruction itself. Okay, so for example in high level languages, when we implement the variables, so absolute addressing mode is followed, okay, by the machine instruction. Because for example, if we have if we print a, okay, so print of a, so what does it mean? A is a variable, so that has a memory location. In that location it has a value, is it not? So that implementation of variables will be implemented by the machine by means of direct addressing mode. Okay, the other name is absolute addressing mode. So since we have seen this example earlier, here is the pictorial diagram for direct addressing mode, opcode and the operand. Okay, so here this operand a gives the address. Okay, so that gets its value is fetched from the memory. Okay, now we will move to register, and this is also very simple, we have seen it earlier. The register will hold the operand. Okay, so here opcode register. Okay, so the register is nothing but some of it's a storage mechanism inside the processor. Okay, so the processor has a general purpose register for doing some manipulations. Okay, so the register will give the operand value, so that is nothing but register addressing mode. Okay, here absolute addressing means in the instruction gives the address of the memory, and we need to fetch the operand from this location. So immediate mode means assigning the constant value. Implied means there is no operand itself. Okay, it is implicitly understood that accumulator value has to be incremented. And moving on to interesting addressing mode, indirection addressing mode, that is achieved by means of the concept called as pointers. Okay, so in indirect addressing mode, the instruction provides information from which memory address of operand is determined. So here the memory address of the operand is not directly given. Okay, so take an example here quickly. Here add r1, so within the bracket r1 is given. It means the content in r1 is one memory address, not the operand value. Okay, so here when we go to r1, so inside the content it is not the operand value, some 10 20 it is not like so. This b is an address, memory address, that needs to be located in the memory, and its operand value is fetched and assigned to here the first source, then followed by r0. So r1 plus r0 added, and the result gets stored in r0 itself. This way this is nothing but indirection. Indirection in the sense straight away we did not get the address of an operand, so we got it by we got the address of the operands by means of an register. Okay, indirectly we are getting the memory location, is it not? So we didn't get it directly. Okay, so this way of getting the address from the register is said to be indirect addressing via general purpose register. Okay, the register or memory location that contain the address of an operand is said to be a pointer. So here this is said to be a pointer because so we can achieve indirection addressing either by means of two ways. One is by means of general purpose register, and the other way is by getting the memory location. Okay, so here the register or the memory location that contain the address of an operand is said to be a pointer. This is a pointer because this address gives the the operand value, not this R1. Okay, by means of R1 we are getting the effective address. Okay, so this is by means of register, and here instead of register we can go for memory location itself. See here, so here the same example, instead of the register here we have the location, memory location, and if we go to the location A we will get the address of the operand. Okay, we won't get the operand value, so we will get the address of the operand, and this is the effective address and we could get it. Okay, so, similar to the previous one, previously register is used, here memory. So generally today's computer will go for the previous addressing mode through general purpose, because so here one to get an operand value we will be referencing the memory only once. So here first we will be going to register, and from register to memory, whereas here we need to depend on to memory, we have to fetch the memory content twice. Okay, the time will be increased. First we need to go to the memory address here, and it gives the address of the operand, and again we need to go here to fetch the operand. So two times we need to visit to fetch the address of to fetch the operand value, so which is generally not preferred by today's computers. Okay, modern day computers. And with that we will see one simple example of using the indirect addressing mode, which we have seen already. Okay, this diagram we have seen it already. This is all about addition of n numbers. See here, suppose if I have the n as 3, so here 10, 20, 30, so all these numbers has to be added and we have to get the result. So for this we have seen this program and in detail, so how it is implemented, line by line step is given here. So move n comma r1, so here n is nothing but the total number we need to add it. Take an example as 3. Okay, so the value 3 is, if n holds the value value 3, so that is assigned to register r1, and move so hash number 1 comma r2. So here it is nothing but this number pound symbol number 1 is nothing but the address of the first operand. So here, so this is the address of the first operand, address is moved to r2, and for addition purpose we are clearing the register r0, and what we are doing, here comes the indirect addressing. Okay, so the r2 is nothing but an address, go to that address. Okay, r2 is what, number 1, so go here and fetch the operand value, that's the meaning, and that operand value gets added to r0. Initially r0 is 0, and suppose here 10 is stored, means 10 plus 0, okay, is 10, that gets stored in r0. Then what we are doing, we need to add the next number, is it not? Suppose in number 2 we have the value, operand value 20, means we from here we need to move here. So that is done by this instruction, add immediate mode hash 4 comma r2. Okay, so it means what, so suppose if the length of the word is of 4 byte, means we need to increment 4 bytes. So that's the thing pointed out here. Okay, then r2 will hold the address of the next operand, and we are decrementing the total numbers, initially 3, now it is 2. Then we are checking the condition whether r1 reaches 0 or not. If not, we keep on repeating it and performing the addition, and finally the result is stored in r0, and that gets moved to one more variable, sum. Okay, so in sum we will have the result, addition of n numbers, and we will quickly go through it with the example. As I have said, n is equal to 3. Okay, so suppose number 1 has the address location 10000, so it's here it's represent hexadecimal representation, and we are clearing r0, and suppose here in this instruction what we are doing, so go to this location and fetch the operand value. Suppose in that location if we have the value 10, means 10 plus r0 is equal to 10, that gets stored in the r0, and we are moving to number 2, next number, we are incrementing r2 to next address. Okay, so 1000 to 1004, so here it is 1004, not 1002, because we have added the number 4 here. Okay, so since memory is a 4 byte addressable, in this example the address is moved to 4 bytes, and we are decrementing so r1 value to be 2. Okay, so previously what, so here, so R1 holds the number total numbers. Okay, how many numbers we need to perform addition? So initially 3, so 1 is over, then remaining 2, then we are checking the loop whether R1 reaches 0 or not. If not, keep on adding it, and that's it. When R1 becomes 0, it will jump out, and R0 will have the answer that gets assigned to sum. Okay, so since in this example the condition R1 is 2, so it will loop it again, so it will go for branching, and in the next statement it will go and fetch the next value 20. Already R0 we have 10, then the value is 30, and decrementing R1, now previously it was 2, now 1, and again go back and do the operation, repeat the operation, go and fetch the third value, add it, and finally if you decrement R1 it will become 0, the condition fails, and the sum gets assigned over here. So this way this is an example for indirect addressing mode. Okay, it's quite simple. Okay, so though this seems to be a little complex for you, since this is the very first time we are seeing the computer instruction in assembly language, so it will be quite familiar. If we see some repeated programs, something like this, means it will be familiar for you. So these are all very super duper simple instructions. Okay, so at the very first time it might be a little bit intimidating, but don't worry, these are all the simple instructions which you use to get familiar when we keep on seeing programs kind of like this. Okay, and we are moving for one more addressing mode called as indexing. Okay, so mainly used in arrays and list. Okay, list in the sense, of course, arrays and list, and we will have linked list concept is also there. So to handle list of items, we will be moving for indexing. Okay, so so far we have seen the operand value as 1. So what happens if the operand is of an array type? Okay, so if an operand holds the 10 numbers, so we need to fetch the 10 numbers one by one. In that situation, we will be preferring, the instruction set is by means of indexing. Okay, so indexing mode, through via indexing mode, we will get all the list of items one by one. So symbolically it is represented like this. So before that, let me tell you the effective address of this indexing mode is generated by adding the constant value to the contents of the register. Okay, some constant value is added. Okay, we will see with an example that will make you clear. Okay, just have that knowledge that effective address is effective address means what? It's nothing but the location of an operand. Okay, so to get the location of an operand in indexing mode, we need to add the constant value to the register that gives the effective address. So symbolic representation of indexing mode is xri, where x is the constant value, or you could name, or we could name that as an offset or displacement also. Okay, so displacement or offset means from current position length, so how much value it needs to be added. Okay, that's the offset value or the displacement value. Okay, given by a variable x. Then effective address is nothing but is said add that constant value to the register content. So this answer is said to be an effective address. Okay, so with an example this will be clear for you. Two ways of using the indexing mode. So here we will see offset is given as a constant. Okay, offset is nothing but x, is it not? Here have an instruction add 20 within the bracket R1 comma R2. As I said, so if something is mentioned within the closed bracket means, so that is nothing but the memory location. Okay. Here, so what's happening, the 20 is nothing but an offset. Okay, so here what it says, effective address is nothing but 20 plus R1, is it not? So R1 is nothing but this value 10,000. So 20 plus 10,000 is 10,020. So in this location only the operand value is resided. Fetch that operand value and add it to the R2. Okay, this is one way. and the other way is we could switch something like this also. Okay, so here offset is in the index register. Okay, so this is the index register. Okay, so R1 is the register, so here we are using it for indexing mode, so we are saying that as an indexing register, a special register dedicated for doing this kind of job, or so any other general registers could also be used for indexing. Okay, so here offset means that constant value is given in register, whereas in the previous one, so the register has the memory address. So we could do it in two ways, anyway. So 10,000 plus 20 is 10,020, or 20 plus 10,000 is 10,020. In either way both the answers are right. Yeah, so the offset is via constant or by the index register could be given. Okay, let us consider this example for index addressing. Okay, so this is quite simple. So though the diagram, though the slide content seems to be big enough for you, so don't worry, it's quite simple. So this example will clearly demonstrate you the indexing addressing mode. Okay, so here we are taking an array means two-dimensional, three-dimensional, is it not, I mean collection of items, sorry, not two-dimensional, three-dimensional. So array is collection of items. Okay, here list of student marks we are doing it, we are taking it for an example for indexing mode. Okay, so what we are doing, so we have the it's here this content is arranged in, of course, two-dimensional. Okay, so we have the list of students, along with the student ID we have 3 subject marks. Okay, so here 2 students we are taking it. Okay, so each student will have the four records. So first record is the student ID, and next 3 is nothing but their marks. Similarly for the other student. So our aim here is, what we are doing is to find the sum of all the 3 subjects. Okay, so here 2 students are there, find the sum of 2 students first subject and give the result in one variable sum1, and add this test2 of 2 students and give the result. So we are going to add the sum of marks, okay, of individual subjects. So how this is achieved means by means of index addressing mode. Okay, and see here it's quite simple. So don't worry about this program, it's very simple program. Okay, so it's written in assembly language. So let me explain you one by one each and every line. So please pay more attention to this program. So for very first line, move hash list. Hash list means its content is been moved to R0. What's that hash list? This one. So this is the address. Okay, so here it's mentioned as address. So these are all nothing but the memory address location, and these are nothing but its respective content inside the memory. Okay, so initially what's the value of R0? R0 is nothing but this address. Okay, then for doing calculation purpose, we are making the registers to be cleared. Okay, so registers may have the value, so we are making it all to be 0, we are setting it to be 0, and move n comma R4. So n is what? So n gives the number of students, and that gets moved to register R4. And what we need to do, we need to add these values, only the test marks, is it not? So what we are doing, add 4 R0 comma R1. So what does it mean? So what's the value of R0? R0 is nothing but this one, list, is it not? So if we assume here it is given as a string, but assume suppose its value is of 1000. Okay, 1000 plus 4, is it not? So 4, this is nothing but indexing, is it not? Indexing. So 4 plus 1000 is nothing but 1004. Okay, so 1004, the content here is nothing but test1. So move that to R1. Similarly 8, next is 8 plus R0. R0 remains still in list. Okay, so if you add list plus 8, it moves to the marks test2. So move that, add that mark along with R2. So initially R2 is 0, so first student test 2 mark gets added to R2 and the result is stored in R2. Similarly for R3. Okay, and now see here, please make a close attention. Now what we are doing, we need to fetch the next record of the student. So first record is over, we need to move to next record. So for moving to next record, we need to get its location. So what you are doing, in R0 we are adding this constant 16. Okay, so since R0 is still pointing to list plus 16 is nothing but it point to the next student. Okay, then we are decrementing R4 is nothing but the number of students. Initially it is 2, now it is 1, so only one student is there. Then condition, whether condition is satisfied or not. Yes, so R0 is not, R4 is not 0, so it will loop back here. And what you are doing right now, R0 is in list plus 16. Okay, now what we are doing, list plus 16 plus 4, so that goes to list plus 20. Okay, so in R1 we are already having the test 1 value. Okay, now here this content will give the second student test 1 value. Okay, so add these two values and store the result in R1. Similarly for the second student test 2, second student test 3, then we are incrementing it, but the condition gets failed here. Now R4 will become 0, comes out of the loop and the respective marks will be getting it. Okay, so this is the way of using the indexing mode. Okay, quite simple the example. And moving to relative addressing mode. Okay, so relative addressing mode mainly used for branching. Okay, so the effective address is it is similar to index addressing mode. In index addressing mode, the address is given by the some constant value is added to the register content. So here instead of register, program counter is used. Okay, effective address is determined by the index mode using the program counter in place of the general purpose. So X in indexing mode we have XRI. So here in relative addressing mode XPC. So PC is the program counter, where X could be a signed number, signed in the sense positive or negative, because in, as I said, relative addressing mode is mainly used to fetch the branch location, the target location. Okay, so here the checking the condition. If the condition is satisfied, means the program counter has to move to this target address, is it not? So how to move to the target address? So with the help of relative addressing mode, that could be achieved, and we are going to see a simple program for that. Okay, here x will be signed number, signed in the sense both positive and negative. So because branching means branching will loop to upward or loop downward, is it not? So branching target can be either before or after the branch instruction. So that's what the offset is given as a signed number. So with a simple example you will get it clearly. The same program is repeated here, addition of n numbers. So here we are going to see what's happening in this location. Okay, so how relative addressing concept is used here. I hope everybody is familiar with this program. We are adding a set of numbers. Okay, some 3 numbers if you are adding, means we are moving that total number 3 to R1 and fetching the first content, clearing it, and performing the fetching the first number and adding it to the register, then incrementing to get the next number. Okay, then total count is decremental and you are checking the branching. Okay, so when this line, so here for explanatory purpose I have given the loop location is 1000, next line is 1004, likewise. So from this itself 1000 to 1004 the address location is. So from this itself you could clearly get that memory content is a 4-byte addressable. Okay, so here come to this line. Okay, so in 1012 address location, if the branching condition is satisfied, means the program counter has to give the address location of what? So it should move to 1000. Okay, so while this condition is executed, as you know, the program counter will automatically increment to fetch the next address location 1016, is it not? So when this condition is executing, PC will have the 16 value, is it not? But if the condition satisfy means PC has to be altered to be 1000. So what we need to, so from current value of PC we need to subtract 16. So that's by means of relative addressing mode. Okay, xpc is equal to, so here the offset is minus 16, because we are moving up, the branch is moving upward. Okay, sometimes the branch will also move downward, so here it's moving upward. So from 1016 to 1000 we need to move, so that's what we are subtracting the 16 value from the current PC value. Okay, and we will get the PC value as 1000. Okay, so then the branch, if the branching is condition is satisfied means it will keep on looping over here, then condition failed means it will come out. Okay, so here comes the concept of utilizing the relative addressing mode. Okay, and the last addressing mode, very simple, is auto increment and auto decrement. So from the name itself you will get, increment means adding, decrement means subtracting. So auto increment means automatically the address will be incremented. Okay, so the effective address of the operand is the content of the register specified. Okay, so effective address is given by the register, and once fetching that register value, after accessing that operand, the register is automatically incremented to the next item. Okay, so if the item is of 4 byte addressable means the register will be automatically increment to next 4 byte. Okay, so initially it will be automatically give the address next address. Okay, so as by incrementing 4. Okay, so if the memory content is of 4 byte addressable, so similarly if it is of 2 byte addressable means the register will automatically increment its value by size 2. Okay, so this is the symbolic representation of auto increment. Okay, so here I represents any general purpose register. Okay, so the bracket indicates the register content is nothing but the memory address, not the operand value. The memory address is automatically incremented, so that's what the plus sign. So here please don't confuse, here is a little difference, you have to make it. So here auto increment, what it says means, first the content in this register will be given as an effective address, followed by it will increment it. After giving the effective address only, the register will be incremented. Okay, so in auto decrement, so first decrement the register and give it as an effective address. Okay, so here minus ri. Okay, in ri we have the address, so that gets decremented and will be given as an effective address. That means the operand, the location of an operand. Okay, so auto increment and auto decrement. So for the previous example, the same example is given, so please take a closer look on this line decrement r1 before the line before decrement r1. See here the same program. So before r1 what we are doing, each and every time when the looping condition is satisfied, we need to increment this r2. What we are doing, simply adding r2 by 4, is it not? Each and every time the value 4 is added to r2. So we can skip this line by using auto increment mode. Okay, see here auto increment r2. So as do operations, here add r2 comma r0. So what's happening, r2 means here it's given in the close bracket, so that's nothing but the address. Get that address, fetch the operand value and add it to r0 and store the result in r0, and automatically r2's address will be incremented. Okay, so we could skip this above line by using the auto increment. Similarly auto decrement also. So the only thing we have to make a note is the auto decrement, first it will decrement and give that address, whereas in auto increment mode it will give the address first, then next it will increment the register content. Okay, so that's it about the addressing modes. It's quite simple, interesting and important topic also in computer architecture, addressing modes. So immediate means immediately the value, whatever the value present will be the operand value. Register means in the register will give the effective address. Absolute means memory location is the effective address. Indirect we can go for either memory location or the register. Okay, so two ways are there, and its representation is also given here. And indexing, so indexing means so some constant value plus register value. Relative means similar to the indexing. Here instead of register we will be going for program counter. Then this is the auto increment and decrement. So auto increment means first the increment will happen afterwards, whereas decrement auto decrement means first decrement then assign the value. Okay, so it's quite a interesting topic to get know this, and I have given some assessment, complete it, and we will see you in the next topic. Till then, thank you all.